Hello and welcome to Counter Narrative. Today we'll be looking at Labour MP Richard Burgon and his defence of the autocracy that is China.
There ought to be unity on both sides of the House on how we deal with the threats that are coming from China.
Well, first of all, and I'm sure that Tim didn't mean it in this way, but I think things can be said which accidentally have a damaging impact. When he was saying that, China has tentacles all over, 30% of students on campuses and the rest of it, I think we've got to be very careful that where our government has disagreements with the government of China, that this doesn't end up fueling anti-Chinese racism in our society.
People, that's not what it's about. And that's the Chinese government. That's what they'd like you to believe. This is not about being anti-China. This is not an argument with China. It's an argument with the Chinese Communist Party government.
I'm saying...
Don't fall into their trap, Richard. That's their narrative.
There is an increased instance of racism faced by Chinese people in Britain, for example, in relation to COVID, and we've got to guard against that. But what I'd say more widely is, look, there's things that the government of the United States has done historically, which we profoundly disagree with. Invading other countries, using a nuclear bomb,
not committing.
So the Foreign Affairs Select Committee had an inquiry which stated we heard alarming evidence about the extent of Chinese influence on the campuses of the UK universities, despite the fact that there are now over 100,000 Chinese students in the UK. The issue of Chinese influence has been the subject of remarkably little debate compared to that in Australia, New Zealand and the US. Is it any surprise with politicians like this who are basically apologists for the communist Chinese dictatorship? And if you're wondering why the universities might be so keen for these students, well, guess what? It's money. They pay 2 to 3 times higher than UK students. Obviously, criticising China is nothing personal against any individual in this country studying, etc., or any person in that country. It is ridiculous for him to state that. Labour have no problem criticising Israel, America and the UK, and that's fine. I have no problem with them doing that either. Do they consider it to be bigotry against these people? The answer is no. For some reason, the left, Labour in particular, do not want to criticise China. Quote, invading other countries and using a nuclear bomb. So does he mean invading France to liberate Europe in 1945 and dropping bombs to stop the allies of Nazi Germany?
With the government of China, but when it comes to climate change, for example, we do need to be working with China in relation to averting climate catastrophe. And you look, for example, at the huge refugee crises that are going to be caused because of climate catastrophe. There's going to be a need for more international cooperation when it comes to climate change, when it comes to the flow of refugees and a whole host of other issues, diminishing resources. And that means working with governments in other countries who we have profound disagreements with on other issues.
In your answer there, I haven't heard one single condemnation of anything the Chinese government has done.
Including on the environment. 29% of greenhouse gases are produced by China, way and above any other nation. The last 11 years, they burnt more coal than the whole of the rest of the world put together. They are going the wrong way on climate change. We need to call them out, not say, we need to sit down and be nice to them. We need to make sure we're not buying goods from them that have been produced in environmentally unfriendly ways or by slave labour. So call them out, not our allies in America and elsewhere.
Action is needed from China and from the United States and from the UK on climate change. However, there is a line which is incorrect, that somehow people believe that per head of the population in China, their carbon footprint is greater than ours. That's not true. The average person in China has a smaller...
Stop defending
China.
I'm not. We need
to have a sensible discussion about these things. China is a superpower. Of course, there'll be things on which we profoundly disagree with them. Of course, our government has to hold its allies and other countries to account on human rights abuses, and those discussions need to take place.
Do you believe they've committed genocide?
But see,
do you believe they've committed genocide?
The approach you're taking
is to ask you if you believe they committed genocide.
The approach that you're taking the approach that you're taking is
It's a straight question.
you're trying to basically create a political storm. Let me speak if that's okay.
You agree with the House of Commons that genocide has been committed by the Chinese?
I'm saying that our government needs to hold other governments around the world, yes, including China, Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, to account on human rights abuses. But we inevitably need a relationship.
Why do you find it so difficult to utter one word of condemnation about anything to do with China? I find it astonishing.
Mental gymnastics that this politician is going through is incredible. The incredulity from the presenters and other panelists is palpable, because it's just unreal, his defence of China. You would think he was part of Chinese state media, the way he's acting. Defending China, re the pollution, when the stats are there, they're the biggest polluter. Not only that, they didn't turn up to COP26 recently, so it looks like they might not be willing to meet their targets. They're certainly not being diplomatic about it going forward. And then to the question, do you believe they committed genocide? Here's the answer: yes. It's that simple. So he's by no means the only politician or organisation to turn a blind eye to China and defend them. For example, the World Health Organization do it routinely. He is one of many reasons why Labour are unelectable and why they've lost their working class base, because of behaviour like this and not calling out what's blatantly obvious. Okay, thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, please like, subscribe and share. That would be a big help. Till next time.